Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for joining my channel tonight. Today, I am just going to attempt a look using some new BH products that I have. If you are returning here, thank you for returning. If you're new here, welcome. I do want to start off tonight with a quote. At my meetings at work or for my team, before we start each day, I like to start off with a quote and or a thought for today. And the thought for today that I used today, I felt like was just fitting, and it kind of helped me get through my day. So it just says, always end the day with a positive thought. No matter how hard things were, tomorrow's a fresh opportunity to make it better. And that's just something that kind of stuck with me throughout the day. So hopefully that will assist someone moving forward for tomorrow and any other days that they may be struggling. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the look. The palette that I would like to use is the Sweet Shop Pistachio palette by BH Cosmetics. And this is how it looks. I purchased this at Marshall's. It was $7.99. You get 8 shades. You got a couple of mattes in here, and then there's some shimmers at the top. I also purchased the BH Chocolate Marshmallow Truffle, and this is a blush palette, also from Marshall's for $4.99. This is the packaging, and these are the 4 colors. I'm hoping to use the darker shade to contour, and then use the rest as maybe the other one as a bronzer, and then the 2 at the bottom as blushes. And then I also purchased the BH Miss Bella Goldie. This is a highlighter palette, and it was also $4.99. And this is how she looks. So I've already prepped my face, sculpted my brows, and cleaned them up as best I could. I've been struggling with my brows today, but we are going to move forward. I used 2 things underneath my eyes. I cleaned underneath my brow with the Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer, and it's in the shade 70, which is dark caramel. And then I also used this e.l.f. putty primer for my eyes. So I am going to take I bought some new BH Cosmetic brushes, and they're still in the packaging, some of them anyways. I had another one I wanted to use. I can't really find them when I need them. Oh, here it is. This is a BH Cosmetic Pro brush, and it doesn't have a number, just has the wording on it. So I want to go in with Cone or Cup, which is this darker green shade right here. And I'm going to start to tap that in my crease. But I don't want to take it all the way over. So I'm going to take it about halfway. And I'm just applying some more to build the color payout that I want in that area. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then I'm going to go in with the shade directly above it, which is Crunch. For that one, I'm going to use BH Cosmetics brush number 4. And I'm going to put Crunch towards the middle. And again, I'm just building until I get the color payoff that I want. Okay, and before I move on, I'm just going to go back in with that initial brush and kind of clear any harsh lines. And I want to try to make it as even as possible, using my fingers as a guide. And I'm going to use this brush to kind of buff out the top of Crunch. And then I want to go in with this. I want to try Sweet Life, which is this shimmer shade right here. So I'm going to grab another brush. This brush does not have a name. I purchased this from Amazon, and it just has a flat rounded top. So I want to use that one for Sweet Life. It's pretty. And just make sure that I am covering the areas that's left over, but still kind of going in that circular shape. And then I'm going to blend out the edges into Crunch. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Sorry, my stomach's growling. And I feel like I need to take Sweet Life over just a little bit. So I'm using the same brush to do that. And so they kind of trying to make them kind of mesh in so they'll look like kind of like a color wheel. The colors just meshing in with each other. And I'm just cleaning this brush off so that I can just go back and just kind of blend the edges of all of the colors. And I'm trying to get my left side is even as the right with the Sweet Life shade. So I'm just going in and blending it. And then now I'm going to go in with my foundation. I think I want to use the Sephora's Best Skin today. I have the shade 57Y. And I just take a flat brush. And I'm going to spread this over my face. And what I normally do with either my foundation or my concealer is to just go ahead and kind of angle and clean up the eyeshadow that may be left on my eye. Then now take a BH Cosmetics. This is a #1 brush. It has a flat top or a flat angled top. And then I just press the foundation over my face. And I apply the one application of foundation that I put on the brush. I blend that in first, and then I'll go back to see if I want to apply anything else. I try not to put too much under my eyes because I'm going to put concealer there. And I normally go in with 2 different concealer shades, and I don't want it to be or appear heavy. And I try to make sure that I go back to my hairline and before you get to my ear. Sometimes I do end up having to put a little bit more over my lip, but I think we're okay. For concealer, do I want to use, I think I'm going to use the NK Perfection Multi-Use Super Coverage Concealer. And this is in the shade 09. And then I just go down the bridge of my nose. And I'll leave that out in case I want to apply more of that one or add a lighter shade. To conceal, I use the BH Cosmetics brush #2. And it's just a flat top brush. And I'll blend in underneath my eyes last. I want to try something. Nope, I'm going to use the BH palettes. So I will start with my chin, just blending it out. And I do like a lighter under eye, so I may go in with a lighter concealer, depending on what the final or finished product looks like. While I'm waiting on that, I am going to go in with that chocolate marshmallow truffle blush palette. And it doesn't have shade names. So I'm going to first go in with this color here. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques buffing brush, the number 204. And I'm just patting in the upward motion. So now I'm going to go in with this burgundy color, and I'm going to mix those two together to see if it gets as dark as I want it to get. Yeah, I like that. I'll go up my forehead, or go up the side of my forehead. And these give off a little shimmer too. I wasn't expecting that. So I'm just going to go back in with my foundation brush because I don't want it to be too shiny. Because I do want to put on a highlight. Okay. To blend in the concealer under my eyes, you can use a sponge or a brush or both. I normally use a brush. This is the Real Techniques 206 brush. This is a contour brush actually, but I use it for my concealer underneath my eyes. And at first, I'll just pat in the location that I placed the concealer. And then once I pat it into my skin, then I'll start to kind of move it of where I want it to go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just patting it into your skin initially. And then kind of move it in the direction. Still patting, but you're just moving it in the direction that you want it to go. And when you go underneath your eyes, sometimes you want to make sure that you're closing your eye so that you can go as far underneath there as you need to. And I don't think I want, well, you know what? I'll add just a little bit of a lighter color. So I do have shade number 7, which is this one, and shade number 3. Shade number 3 is too light, so I'll put a little bit of shade number 7. And I have not yet blended the concealer that is on my nose. I'll just put maybe a couple of dots. And let that sit for a minute, because that's the area that I want to be extremely light. And then I'm going to take this is also a Real Techniques contour brush. Does it have a number? No. But it has contour on the back. And I think I purchased this. I think this was purchased in a set with some more brushes. And I'm just patting. Not really mixing it yet. Just patting or blending it. I'm just patting it in place. Something is definitely in my eye. Or trying to get in my eye. Okay. So I have blended in the concealer everywhere except for the second coat that we put underneath the eye. I am going to go back in to this palette, and I'm going to use this darker brown to see if I can contour my nose with it. This looks like, to me, a pencil brush. It does not have a name on it, but it doesn't matter the brand. You can use any brush like this, but this is what I'm going to try to use to contour my nose. So I'm going to start at my brow and just come down, and I'm going to do that on the other side. And then I'm going to go back into that contour brush and just pat. Because I don't want it, I want it to be faint or subtle. I don't want it to be a sharp contour, if that makes sense. I feel like I rubbed off a little bit of my brow. I'm just going back in to fix it, or fix them. And I'm going to take a spoolie and just mix the product into my brow hairs. Okay. And now we are ready to go back in and blend the lighter concealer. Okay. So I'm going to, you know what? I already have the Laura Mercier translucent powder out in the mini. So I'm going to use this to set in the places that I concealed. And I had some that was being stubborn, didn't want to come out, so I just put a little bit in the top. Okay. And to set the remainder of my face, I think I'm going to go in with the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Toffee. And this is how it looks. And I'm going to use a bigger brush. This is the Real Techniques 201. This is a powder brush. And I'm just tapping and putting this in the areas that I did not conceal. I'm just going to go in with mascara for my eyes, because I'm about to go to bed and don't want to be bothered with that glue. And I go up and then across. And I'll wait about 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and let that dry a little bit. I think I may want to do my lower lash line, but I'll wait and see. I think I scraped a little bit of my eyeshadow. So I'm just kind of touching up. To make sure that you can still see my efforts and the colors that I applied. And I was going to use the Anastasia Dewy set, but I have just a little bit left of my e.l.f. Glow and Dewy Mist. So I think I'm going to use this until I use it up. Not today. My mascara is all the way dry. I'm going to give it a second